Right, so let's talk about one common struggle, and this is entertaining your dog when they're home alone. And this is usually the time when they are most destructive. Ask me how I know. So I got this from RSPCA Victoria, and I actually quite like this quote, so I just copied it in. It's about boredom in dogs. So it says, while we're at work, school, or out and about, our dogs are often at home alone for hours. Without proper preparation, dogs become bored. This can lead to many behavior problems such as excessive barking, digging, and destructive behavior. Boredom can also contribute to more serious problems such as separation anxiety and obsessive compulsive behaviors. Responsibilities such as work and school are unavoidable, but we always need to remember our responsibilities as a dog owners. Providing our dogs with sufficient exercise and mental stimulation is so important so they don't get bored and frustrated. So this highlights quite nicely how first of all, of course, like how important mental stimulation is as well as the exercise. So especially if you have one of these high drive dogs, etc., who just need more and more and more, provide them also with a mental bit. But also, of course, like how enrichment can help to prevent certain behaviors. If you have a rescue dog, then separation anxiety or separation related behaviors might already be part of your story, of your journey, and you might want to get professional help in these cases. However, if you provide your dog with something to do, then they are less likely to get bored or frustrated in the first place. So let's have a look at what you can do to keep your dog entertained when home alone. And I say when home alone, but this obviously can also be the case if you work from home. After the pandemic, loads of us do work from home. So I also put together some tips on how to help your dog be busy or stay busy while you're at work, and whether this means out and about or at home, they are both applicable. If you are out, then you also want to practice the dog being okay, being home alone, etc. So the first item that I popped on here is work on calmness, and I mentioned this right at the beginning, that calm dogs do make better decisions and how important calmness is, not only in a multi-dog household but also with just one single dog. I just really want to stress this because calmness can become a way of life, and in the long run this will not only relax your dog and make it less stressful for them, but also of course for you. Then the second item I popped on here is to practice being alone. If you have a young dog, if you have a rescue dog, or if you have a dog who already has developed some certain behaviors around separation, then you do want to practice this. You don't just want to throw them into the deep end and just let them be alone for a couple of hours. So you do want to practice this. And one thing I would like to add here, if you have, like me, a deaf dog, they tend to be pretty often Velcro dogs, so this is something you definitely do want to look into as well if you have a deaf dog. For any dog, of course, but especially also for a deaf dog, and you do want to give them a clear sign so they know actually when you leave the house. So you don't just want to sneak out, because they will look for you, because obviously they can't hear when you leave. So yes, please do practice this. Then we want to keep variety and entertainment for our dogs. So when we go back to the first section, when we talk about what is canine enrichment or what is animal enrichment, we have choice, we have change, we have variety. So you want to change maybe the toys you provide, the type of enrichment you provide. You don't want to give them all the time the same thing. You want to maybe provide entertainment, and this can come in different things like leaving the music on or leaving the radio on, but also having a treasure hunt where you have different stations where you maybe hide puzzle toys, or where you provide them an outlet where they can get busy when they want to, but also can take a rest. So you could, for example, have maybe their food allowance or their breakfast split up into a topple, into a puzzle toy or a licky mat, or maybe a treasure hunt where you hide treats around the house, etc. So this could be one thing. You can also provide them with a long-lasting chew. However, you do want to make sure that this is something they can't just swallow, because you obviously totally want to avoid choking hazards or anything. So whatever you do, if it's unsupervised, you want to make sure your dog knows how to use this, and also that it's safe. So some dogs will chew a licky mat if you leave it with them. Mine won't, so for me this is an option. There's no issue for me leaving a licky mat when I leave. If you have a dog who chews a licky mat, then you want to rethink this. So please, again, do customize this for your own dog and also what you can provide. This, of course, also means if you have a dog who is not yet there where they are able to free roam in your house or in your flat or in your garden, and you have to manage the rooms, then of course you have less space, right? So, or if you have a dog who maybe gets into high arousal when you hide things, then you don't want to do this either. So really figure out what can your dog handle, and if you see they're too nervous to even touch food while you're out and about, then you want to go back to practice leaving them alone. So please do get help if you need to, and make it a safe journey for both of you to just really decrease the stress.